I have two personal stories. One is I have a nephew who has a rare interstitial lung disease, and we are part of a foundation. His parents and I are part of a foundation of families that all have rare interstitial lung diseases or just rare diseases in general. And he was diagnosed when he was really young, when he was about a year old, year to 2 years old, and he is able to do a lot of things, but he has to be on oxygen, and the oxygen is expensive, and he also has to go in the hospital from time to time, and when he gets sick, that costs a lot, and a lot of the other families have very similar situations. And so for a lot of them, they have insurance, they have primary insurance, but they usually have 80-20 plans where they have to pay for 20%, or they have to pay co-pays or deductibles. And literally within just those 2 years of him being sick and getting diagnosed, along with most of the other families have similar stories, it nearly bankrupted the family until he was on Medicaid, and the other families got on Medicaid as well. So Medicaid may be their secondary, but yet it's vital for them to be able to survive economically. And many of the kids also get SSI, and that's also vital. It's immensely helpful for them to get SSI because it helps pay for some of the other costs that just come along with having significant diseases. My other story is that my mother actually died from cancer, from breast cancer, and had worked all the way up until about 2.5 years before she passed away. And she had to leave her job because she was in too much pain and she was too sick and couldn't continue to work there. And so it was suggested to her to apply for Social Security, for her Social Security. And, she kind of thought, oh, I'm not going to get it. But she was able to get it. And it was incredibly helpful to just help cover some of those things that her income had covered. And without it, my parents would have had to go into debt. They would have had to, or go into, more debt and so forth. And they would have had a lot of costs that would not have been covered. And so in those sense, they're vital programs to help families just make it economically when there's, a major illness or a lifelong illness that is serious and is going to affect, and impact that person for